What's up? What's going on? About to do a video showing y'all how to tune one of these regular Chinese machines. You know what I'm saying? If you're just starting out and this is what you can afford for now, you know what I'm saying? And you got to make the best out of what you have. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to start off with showing you how to tune this bad boy into a workable liner. First thing you're going to do, when you get a lot of these, you're going to look at the back. You're going to look at the rear binding post. See these two washers right here? Usually you might have two underneath the rear back spring and maybe one washer on top. But what you're trying to achieve here is you're trying to achieve parallel lines between your armature bar and the base of your frame when you have full pressure applied to the armature bar. So right now my armature bar should be flush with the top of my coil right here, my front coil. Should maybe have about this much space between the back, you know, give or take a little, but you really want to get around this much space, to be honest. And this here should be parallel to this here. You see that? It might be off a tad bit, but that's what you're trying to get there. You're trying to get it to be flush and still have some type of tension on your back spring while this screw's tied all the way down, you know, after you adjust the washers back here. But after you get that done, your next step is what I usually do is this rubber piece right here, this grommet, you go ahead and get rid of that. That's just basically to, you know, make it sound tuned, to be honest. That's the only use I see for it. But if your machine is properly tuned, especially for a liner, you could go ahead and get rid of that, you know, a lot of the times. And after you do that, your front spring here, if we're talking about a liner, between your front spring and the gap on your contact screw, that gap right there should be about the width of a dime. You should be able to go ahead and slide a dime through there if you needed to, you know, give or take, as far as once you fine tune it. But it should be about the width of a dime. Gonna go ahead and plug the machine. You know, you even want to make sure you have this lined up flush off the top of that. Tighten that if you need to. And you can't see my power supply, which is great because, you know what I'm saying, as far as properly tuning a coil machine, you can really hear and feel the vibration of the machine instead of just going off of a number. What you're going to want to do is turn your power supply all the way down to 0 volts. You're going to go ahead and step on your foot pedal. I'm stepping on my foot pedal right now. And you're going to slowly give it voltage until the machine cuts on. Boom, my machine's on. It's running okay, but it's not running too smooth right now. The pitch is uneven. You're going to go ahead and give it a little bit more voltage until you get a nice even tune. A little less juice. A little less juice. Right around. A little less. Right around there. Sounds okay. And once you get an alright tune, what you're going to want to do is you're going to take a look at where you would put your nipple, your rubber nipple, where you would attach your needle bar to. This dot right here, what you're going to try to achieve is somewhat like a figure 8. Once your machine starts running and you start getting that blur effect, you're going to see two dots and they should be right on top of each other like a figure 8. If anything, little to no space in between them. I'm gonna go ahead and run the machine. Gonna give it a little more voltage. A little less, a little more. Okay, right around there. Keep in mind the machine isn't loaded right now as far as the needle in the tube. Do you see that? Do you see that? How those two dots are right on top of each other? That's what you're trying to get. Right there. I went ahead and loaded the machine. And this is how your machine should sound once it's loaded. Keep in mind, once it's loaded, you really might need to adjust the voltage once you go ahead and load a needle in the tube in there. You still might need to pitch it up just a little bit, but it's the same concept. Pitch it until you find that smooth, you know what I'm saying, rhythm. And that's where I'm at right about now. And as far as needle depth, you should be right around maybe there. It can even be a little bit more or less, give or take, according, to your personal preference. But this is me, pressing the armature bar all the way down. This is what I'm getting here. Try to get that on the screen. Me pressing it all the way down.